Pisces, I just finished the most incredible tarot reading for you all, and I had to share this immediately because the energy that came through was absolutely profound. I'm still processing everything the cards revealed, and honestly, I think you're going to feel seen in a way that might surprise you. So I asked the universe specifically about this situation where you've been deceived for years, and the cards that came up tell such a complete story about what's been happening behind the scenes. Before I dive in, I want you to know that if this resonates with you, you're not alone, and more importantly, this is not your fault. Let me start with the first card that practically jumped out of the deck. I pulled the Nine of Cups, and when I saw this card in this context, I actually got goosebumps. The Nine of Cups is traditionally known as the wish fulfillment card, but here's what's fascinating about how it showed up for you, Pisces. This card is telling me that for years, you've been living in what you thought was your fulfilled dream. Maybe it was a relationship, maybe it was a friendship, could be a business partnership, or even a family dynamic. You looked at this situation and thought, this is it. This is what I wanted. This is my emotional satisfaction made manifest. The person or people involved made you believe that you had everything you wished for. But here's where it gets deep. And this is why I love working with tarot, because it reveals these layers. The Nine of Cups can also represent illusion when it appears in certain contexts. You've been living in a beautiful bubble, Pisces, and someone very deliberately helped you build that bubble. They knew exactly what you needed to hear, exactly what would make you feel secure and loved and valued. I keep getting this image of someone carefully crafting every interaction to maintain this illusion. They studied you, beautiful Pisces. They learned your emotional language, your triggers, your deepest needs. And they used that knowledge to keep you exactly where they wanted you. The deception wasn't random or casual, it was methodical and intentional. What's breaking my heart as I look at this card is realizing how pure your energy was in all of this. Pisces energy is naturally trusting, naturally believing in the good in people. You gave your whole heart to this situation because that's what you do. You loved completely, trusted completely, and someone took advantage of that beautiful vulnerability. The Nine of Cups here is also showing me that you actually did get glimpses of the truth along the way, but you chose to stay in the wish fulfillment energy because it felt safer. Your intuition, which is incredibly strong as a Pisces, was trying to whisper warnings to you, but the emotional comfort of believing in the dream was more appealing than facing a potentially painful reality. Now, the second card that came through was the Hanged Man, and oh my goodness, this makes so much sense with everything that's been happening. The Hanged Man represents suspension, being in limbo, seeing things from a completely different perspective, and feeling powerless to change your circumstances. For years, Pisces, you've been in this suspended state without even realizing it. You thought you were actively participating in this relationship or situation, but actually you were being kept in a holding pattern. Someone else was controlling the pace, controlling the information you received, controlling the entire dynamic, while making you believe you had agency. The Hanged Man is showing me that you've been waiting for something that was never going to come. Maybe you were waiting for them to fully commit, waiting for them to be honest with you, waiting for the relationship to move to the next level, waiting for promises to be fulfilled. But here's what the card is revealing. They never intended to deliver on any of those expectations. This suspension wasn't accidental, beautiful soul. It was strategic. By keeping you in this hanging state, they maintained control while avoiding responsibility. They could enjoy all the benefits of your devotion, your emotional availability, your support, without having to reciprocate genuinely or make any real commitments. What's so profound about the Hanged Man appearing here is that it's also a card of spiritual awakening through sacrifice. You've sacrificed so much of yourself, so much of your time, so much of your emotional energy for this situation. But that sacrifice is about to lead to a massive shift in perspective that will ultimately liberate you. The Hanged Man often appears when we're about to see everything completely differently. All those moments that didn't quite make sense, all those times your gut told you something was off, all those inconsistencies you talked yourself out of noticing, you're about to see all of it clearly. I'm getting chills because the Hanged Man is also telling me that your period of suspension is ending. You've been upside down for so long, seeing everything from this distorted perspective, but you're about to be right side up again. The truth that's coming will literally flip your entire understanding of the situation. The third card is Eight of Cups, and this one made me pause for a long moment because the energy here is so poignant. Eight of Cups represents walking away from emotional fulfillment, leaving behind what once brought you joy and embarking on a spiritual journey towards something more authentic. This card is showing me your future, Pisces. And it's beautiful, but also bittersweet. You're going to walk away from this situation, not because you stopped caring, but because you finally realize that what you thought was nourishing you was actually depleting you. The cups in this card represent all the emotional investment you've made, all the love you've poured out, all the dreams you've attached to this person or situation. But here's what's incredible about the Eight of Cups. It's not a card of defeat. It's a card of spiritual courage. It takes enormous strength to leave behind something you've invested years of your life in, especially when part of you still loves what you thought it was. The figure in the Eight of Cups is walking toward mountains, toward higher ground, toward truth. That's your journey, beautiful Pisces. You're moving from the valley of illusion toward the peak of clarity. Yes, you're leaving behind those 8 cups, but you're walking toward something infinitely more valuable, your authentic self and genuine connections. I keep getting this message that the person who deceived you is going to be shocked when you walk away. They've become so comfortable with your presence, so confident in your loyalty, that they never prepared for the possibility that you might choose yourself over the illusion they created. The Eight of Cups is also revealing something profound about your emotional intelligence. Deep down, you've always known something wasn't right. Your Piscean intuition has been nudging you for years, sending you dreams, sending you signs, creating that persistent feeling of unease that you kept trying to rationalize away. Now, the fourth card absolutely took my breath away. King of Cups appeared, and in this context, it's representing the person who deceived you, and wow, the insights here are both validating and infuriating. The King of Cups is someone who has mastered emotional manipulation. They understand emotions not to genuinely connect with others, but to control them. This person studied you, Pisces. They learned exactly how to trigger your compassion, your empathy, your desire to nurture and heal. This King of Cups energy is someone who appears emotionally mature on the surface. They probably presented themselves as deep, sensitive, understanding. They might have shared vulnerable stories with you, made you feel like you were seeing their authentic self. But it was all calculated, all performed to make you feel special and chosen. What's particularly sinister about this King of Cups energy is that they used your own emotional gifts against you. As a Pisces, you naturally want to heal others, you're drawn to wounded souls, you believe in people's potential for growth and change. This person recognized those beautiful qualities in you and weaponized them. They probably positioned themselves as someone who needed your light, your healing energy, your patience. They made you feel like you were their salvation, like your love could transform them. But here's the devastating truth the cards are revealing. They never wanted to be transformed. They wanted to use your transformative energy to maintain their status quo, while appearing to be on a journey of growth. The King of Cups here is also showing me that this person is likely very charming with others as well. They have a reputation for being emotionally intelligent, caring, perhaps even spiritual or evolved. Part of what made their deception so effective is that other people see them positively, which made you question your own perceptions when something felt off. This card is validating every moment you felt confused, every time you wondered if you were being too sensitive or reading too much into things. Your intuition was absolutely correct. This person was presenting a carefully curated version of themselves while hiding their true motivations and feelings. The fifth card came through with such intensity that I actually had to take a break before continuing the reading. Queen of Pentacles appeared, and she's representing the energy that's been missing from your life while you've been caught in this deception. Queen of Pentacles is about practical nurturing, genuine abundance, security that's built on truth rather than illusion. She represents what you deserve and what you've been denied while investing in this false situation. For years, Pisces, you've been pouring your Queen of Pentacles energy into someone else's garden while your own life remained unplanted. You've been nurturing their dreams, supporting their goals, providing emotional and possibly even financial stability for their vision, while your own abundance has been neglected. The Queen of Pentacles is showing me that you have incredible gifts for creating real, tangible prosperity and security. But you've been so focused on trying to create emotional security within this deceptive relationship that you haven't had the bandwidth to build the solid foundation you're capable of creating. This card is also revealing that the person who deceived you recognized your Queen of Pentacles potential and deliberately kept you from fully stepping into it. They needed you focused on them, devoted to them, available for them. If you had fully embraced your own power to create abundance and security, you would have been less dependent on the scraps of affection and attention they offered. What's beautiful about the Queen of Pentacles appearing here is that she's showing you what's waiting for you on the other side of this deception. When you reclaim your energy and redirect it toward your own life, you're going to experience a level of abundance and fulfillment that will make you grateful this illusion finally crumbled. The Queen of Pentacles nurtures from overflow, not from depletion. She's showing you that real love, real partnership, real friendship should add to your abundance, not drain it. You've been operating from a deficit for so long, trying to love someone into honesty, trying to nurture a connection into authenticity, that you forgot what it feels like to give from a place of genuine fullness. Moving on to the sixth card, the Emperor appeared, and my understanding of this entire situation deepened significantly. The Emperor represents structure, authority, control, and in this context, it's revealing the power dynamics that have been operating beneath the surface of your relationship. The Emperor here is showing me that the person who deceived you has been wielding quiet authority over your life in ways you might not have fully recognized. They've been the one setting the pace of the relationship, determining when you get access to them, deciding what information you receive and when you receive it. This isn't the healthy masculine energy of the Emperor that protects and provides structure for growth. This is the Shadow Emperor energy that uses structure and authority to maintain dominance and control. They've created a system where they hold all the power while making you believe you're an equal participant. I'm seeing that they've used traditional relationship structures or social expectations to justify their behavior. Maybe they've hidden behind concepts like needing space, taking things slow, focusing on their career, or not being ready for commitment. But what the Emperor is revealing is that these weren't authentic needs, they were control mechanisms. The Emperor in this position is also showing me that they've likely been managing multiple relationships or situations simultaneously. They're someone who compartmentalizes very effectively, keeping different aspects of their life separate so they can maintain different narratives with different people. What's particularly revealing about the Emperor here is that it's showing me the level of planning and organization that went into maintaining this deception. This wasn't someone who just got in over their head or didn't know how to be honest. This was someone who systematically structured their interactions with you to maintain maximum benefit with minimum accountability. The Emperor is also representing the awakening that's happening for you now, Pisces. You're beginning to see the structures that have been controlling your life, the invisible boundaries that have been placed around your relationship, the hierarchy that put you in a subordinate position while making you think you were partners. The seventh card brought through energy that made me want to reach through the screen and hug every Pisces watching this. The Devil appeared, and while this might seem scary, it's actually an incredibly liberating card in this context because it's revealing the chains that have been binding you and showing you that they're about to be broken. The Devil represents bondage, addiction, unhealthy attachments, and being trapped by material or emotional desires. For years, beautiful Pisces, you've been chained to this situation not by external force, but by your own hopes, dreams, and emotional investment. The person who deceived you understood exactly how to keep you bound to them. They created intermittent reinforcement, giving you just enough affection, just enough hope, just enough progress to keep you attached while never delivering the full connection you craved. This is classic devil energy, the illusion of pleasure or fulfillment that actually keeps us trapped in cycles that don't serve us. You've been addicted to the potential you saw in this person, addicted to the moments when they showed up authentically, addicted to the dreams of what this relationship could become. But here's what's incredible about the devil appearing in your reading. It only shows up when liberation is imminent. The devil card always represents chains that we have the power to break ourselves. You're not actually trapped, beautiful soul. You never were. You've been choosing to stay because walking away felt more painful than continuing to hope. The devil is also revealing that this person has likely been dealing with their own addictions or unhealthy attachments, maybe to attention, to control, to having multiple people invested in them, to avoiding real intimacy while enjoying its benefits. Their inability to be authentic with you stems from their own internal bondage to patterns that don't serve genuine connection. What's profound about this card is that it's showing you that breaking free from this situation will break you free from a much larger pattern. This specific deception is connected to deeper themes in your life about where you give your power away, where you accept less than you deserve, where you try to love people into wholeness instead of requiring them to show up already committed to their own growth. The 8th card came through with such clarity that I had to read it 3 times to make sure I was understanding correctly. The Tower appeared, and oh my goodness, this explains so much about what's been building up in your life. The Tower represents sudden revelation, structures crumbling, truth being exposed in ways that completely change everything. This card is telling me that the revelation of this deception isn't going to be gradual or subtle. It's going to be a lightning bolt moment that illuminates everything at once. Something is going to happen, Pisces, that makes the entire structure of lies impossible to maintain. Maybe you're going to discover communications you weren't supposed to see. Maybe someone else is going to reveal information. Maybe the person who deceived you is going to slip up in a way that exposes everything. The Tower often feels destructive when it happens, but it's actually the universe's way of liberating us from structures that were built on false foundations. Everything that's about to crumble in your situation was never solid to begin with. It was built on deception, manipulation, and your willingness to overlook red flags because you wanted to believe in the potential you saw. What's fascinating about the Tower in your reading is that it's showing me this revelation is going to happen very suddenly, possibly in a public or semi-public way. The title of your reading mentions someone nervously biting their nails while waiting in line at a courthouse, and that image makes perfect sense with Tower energy. Legal situations, official proceedings, formal confrontations, these are all Tower-type events where truth gets exposed regardless of whether people are ready for it. Someone's carefully constructed facade is about to crumble in a very visible way. The Tower is also revealing that you're not the only person who's been deceived. This revelation is going to expose a pattern of behavior that affects multiple people. You're going to realize that what you thought was a personal situation between you and this person is actually part of a much larger web of deception. But here's what's beautiful about the Tower. It clears the ground for authentic rebuilding. Yes, the structure you thought you had is going to be destroyed, but it was never real anyway. The Tower makes space for something genuine to be built. The 9th card absolutely confirmed everything the previous cards had been revealing. Ace of Swords came through with such sharp, clear energy that I felt it in my entire body. This is the card of mental clarity, truth cutting through illusion, new understanding, and breakthrough communication. Ace of Swords is telling me that after the Tower moment happens, you're going to experience a level of mental clarity that will be almost overwhelming. All those confused feelings, all those moments where you couldn't quite put your finger on what felt wrong, All those times you talked yourself out of your own perceptions. Suddenly, everything is going to make perfect sense. This card represents the sword of truth cutting through years of fog. You're going to see this person's behavior patterns with crystal clarity. You're going to understand exactly how they manipulated situations to maintain control. You're going to recognize every technique they used to keep you emotionally available while avoiding genuine commitment. The Ace of Swords is also representing new communication that's coming. This might be conversations where truth finally gets spoken. It might be written communication that reveals important information, or it might be your own voice finally speaking your truth after years of silence. What's powerful about this card is that it represents not just seeing the truth, but having the mental clarity and communication skills to act on it effectively. You're not just going to understand what happened. You're going to know exactly how to respond in a way that serves your highest good. The Ace of Swords is also revealing that this clarity is going to extend beyond just this one situation. You're going to develop new discernment skills, new boundaries, new ways of recognizing authentic versus performative behavior. This painful experience is actually sharpening your ability to see through deception in all areas of your life. This card is also showing me that you're going to find your voice in ways you never have before. Years of being manipulated and controlled have taught you exactly what authentic communication looks and feels like, in contrast to what you've been experiencing. Finally, the 10th card brought through energy that made me tear up with how beautiful and hopeful it is. Ace of Pentacles appeared as your final card, representing new beginnings in the material world, opportunities for genuine abundance, and the foundation for building something real and lasting. After all this destruction, after all this revelation, after walking away from years of investment, the universe is preparing to offer you something authentically valuable. The Ace of Pentacles represents opportunities that are based on truth, relationships that add to your abundance rather than depleting it, and the chance to build something solid and lasting. This card is telling me that your willingness to face the truth and walk away from the illusion is going to open up space for genuine opportunities to flow into your life. These might be career opportunities, romantic opportunities, friendship opportunities, or financial opportunities, but they're all going to be characterized by honesty, mutual benefit, and real potential for growth. The Ace of Pentacles is also representing your own renewed energy and resources. For years, you've been investing in someone else's potential while neglecting your own. Now that energy is coming back to you multiplied. You're going to rediscover your own power to create abundance, your own worth, your own incredible value. What's beautiful about ending with the Ace of Pentacles is that it represents seed energy, the beginning of something that has the potential to grow into magnificent abundance over time. But unlike the false promises you've been living with, this seed is planted in truth, watered with authenticity, and destined to bloom into something genuinely fulfilling. This card is also showing me that other people are going to recognize your value in ways the person who deceived you never could. You're going to experience what it feels like to be chosen consistently, valued openly, and loved authentically. As I'm looking at all these cards together, the story they tell is so complete and so hopeful despite the pain of the deception. You've been living in an illusion that someone else carefully constructed, but your own intuition has been trying to wake you up for years. The moment of truth is coming very soon, and while it will be shocking and potentially painful, it's going to liberate you completely. The person who deceived you is about to face consequences for their actions, possibly in a very public or legal setting. They're nervous because they know their carefully constructed facade is about to crumble, and there's nothing they can do to prevent it. But here's what I want you to understand, beautiful Pisces. None of this was your fault. Your capacity for love, trust, and seeing potential in others is a gift, not a weakness. Someone else chose to exploit those beautiful qualities instead of honoring them. That says everything about their character and nothing about yours. You're about to enter a chapter of your life that's defined by truth, authentic abundance, and relationships that match your incredible capacity for genuine love. The pain of this revelation is temporary, but the wisdom and strength you gain from it will transform every area of your life. I see you walking away from this situation with your head held high, your heart protected but not closed, and your future bright with possibilities that are actually worth your beautiful energy.